Chapter 729. So what if she's with the manor lady? Mo Feifei seemed quite arrogant. I can say that not one disciple in Fengyun clan is as talented as I am. Zheng Chuchu was there to compete with me before. But, now that Zheng Chuhu is gone, I believe that the manor lady will be more than willing to stand by my side. Sponsored content. In fact, one of them was a talented disciple in Fengyun clan, while the other one was only a servant. Everyone knew very well which side to choose. The servant was a true warrior and she would surely be identified as a genius if she was placed in the secular world. But, she was now at Fengyun Manor. Mo Feifei had made a breakthrough to advanced true warrior when she was at Qingling's age. Everyone knew that one could easily make a breakthrough before true warrior tier. But, one needed a few years to make a breakthrough when they had reached true warrior tier. But, Mo Feifei only used 2 years to make a breakthrough to spirit warrior tier. Sponsored content. Many would invite Mo Feifei to become their disciples even if she left Fengyun clan, given that she had such huge talent. Manor lady will surely know what is best for Fengyun Manor. You can say whatever you want. I'll return a divine spirit fruit to you tomorrow. Qingling did not want to create trouble in Fengyun Manor for the princess' sake. She had no choice but to endure the accusations. Return one to me tomorrow? It's hilarious. Do you plan to steal a divine spirit fruit in the middle of the night? If not, how will you be able to return one to me tomorrow? I just don't understand why the manor lady keeps a person like you as her servant. If it was me, I would have traded you with someone else to prevent you from creating trouble for the manor lady. Mo Feifei gestured and sand was swept up from the ground. She gathered the stones on the ground and they were swept up into the sky. Qingling's path was blocked. Sponsored content. Senior Mo. The others saw how Mo Feifei reacted. She was quite out of line. They had no choice but to try their best to stop her. Just forget about it. Don't talk anymore. She's with the manor lady. We need to respect the manor lady too. Mo Feifei was the most arrogant and pompous disciple among all the other disciples. She had never treated the weak ones nicely simply because she was more talented. But, she was still a talented person. She was arrogant because of her talent. They did not dare to say much or argue with her. But now, that servant was the manor lady's servant. They did not care about which side the manor lady would take in the end. Mo Feifei's action would be regarded as disrespectful toward the manor lady. How would the manor lady be treated in Fengyun Manor in the future? Sponsored content. Moreover, that lady continued speaking softly. She knows that she's wrong. Why don't we just forgive her? I will give away my divine spirit fruit this time. Let someone else have my divine spirit fruit. Shut up. Mo Feifei shouted angrily. I don't allow anyone to tarnish anything that belongs to our Fengyun clan. That woman was about to say something more. But, eventually, she did not say anything after realizing how angry Mo Feifei seemed. Then, what do you want? Qingling turned and looked at Mo Feifei, angrily. Mo Feifei smiled, sardonically. I want you to spit out the bite of fruit that you have eaten just now. You. Qingling's face was red with anger. You're out of the line. If you don't want to do that, I'm more than willing to help you. Sponsored content. Mo Feifei advanced toward Qingling slowly. Senior Mo. The other disciples were anxious now. But, Mo Feifei became angrier when the other disciples tried to stop her. I'll never allow these people to disobey me just because of a servant. It's disrespectful to me. How can I endure that? Alas, the more they tried to stop her, the more she didn't want to let that lowly servant off. Chapter 730. Stop. Sponsored content. Mo Feifei came to stand in front of Qingling. All of a sudden, an angry voice was heard. A soft breeze blew by and Zheng Chuchu came to stand between Mo Feifei and Qingling. Mo Feifei, I never thought that you're so daring to bully the manor lady's servant. Mo Feifei's facial expression darkened. I never thought that you'll side with the servant. Is it because you've been staying outside for half a year and you think that you're just the same as the servant? Where has your pride gone as a genius? She's with the manor lady. So what? Mo Feifei did not seem to care about that in the least. Sponsored content. Remove ads. Imagenius. I have my pride and I'll never bow down to a servant. The manor lady is a person who places great emphasis on family ties and friendship. If you dare to do anything to Qing Ling, the manor lady will never forgive you. I'm warning you now, Zheng Chuchu said, expressionlessly. Mo Feifei sneered. I believe that the manor lady is not that kind of person. She's a leader in our Fengyun clan. She must put Fengyun clan before everything else. If she's like the other forces and acts selfishly, she won't be able to stay here for long. But the manor lady is an intelligent and strong person. She'll never give me up for just a servant's sake. Moreover, she's just a servant and she's not the manor lady's friend or relative. If I did anything to a servant, surely the manor lady will not say anything. Zheng Chuchu smiled coldly. What if I don't allow you to do that? Mo Feifei grew cold and seemed indifferent. Zheng Chuchu, are you sure you want to become my enemy just because of a servant? Yes. Sponsored Content Remove ads. Zheng Chuchu, we drew a tie when we fought with each other before. Do you still think that you'll be able to fight with me now? Mo Feifei narrowed her eyes and advanced toward Zheng Chuchu slowly. She was an intermediate spirit warrior. She was immersed in her own spiritual force. She released her power and it was so powerful that the entire sky was filled with the strong force. Not far away, Feng Ruqing stopped walking. She looked in the direction where the force came from. She seemed cold and serious. Did somebody come and create trouble here in Fengyun Manor? Liu Li was stunned. She followed close behind Feng Ruqing. She seemed rather hesitant. Princess, I know the way. Lady Chuchu showed me before. That place seems to be the manor that belongs to the disciples of Fengyun clan. Sponsored Content Remove ads. Liu Li, let's go and find out what's wrong. Feng Ruqing had a soft smile on her face, but that smile was rather cold. Nobody is allowed to create trouble here in Fengyun Manor. Zheng Chuchu, do you see that now? I made a breakthrough before you. Mo Feifei sneered at Zheng Chuchu arrogantly. Do you still think that you can protect that servant? Zheng Chuchu clenched her fists tightly. No disciples can fight among themselves in Fengyun clan. Have you forgotten about that? I don't want to disobey the rules in our manor. Don't force me. I'm afraid that I'm unable to hold back anymore. Sponsored Content Remove ads. You're just afraid of me. Why give me such a lame excuse? Moreover, I'm not wrong here. I'm just protecting Fengyun Manor and guarding its interest. Mo Feifei smiled, coldly. Mo Feifei, don't be ridiculous. The servants who followed closely behind Zheng Chuchu were infuriated. If you dare to make an attack, you'll definitely regret it. Mo Feifei smirked. She looked at the people in front of her condescendingly. I, Mo Feifei, have never known what regret tastes like. All of you treat yourselves like humble servants after you've left the manor for quite some time. You don't know that every disciple in Fengyun Manor cultivates diligently. Soon enough, your status here in Fengyun clan will surely be replaced by them. Chapter 731. There were a lot of people in Fengyun clan. If one was not hardworking, they might soon be replaced by someone else. Sponsored content. Zheng Chuchu was the one who had wasted half a year. There were many changes in Fengyun clan within half a year. Those changes were rather unexpected to Zheng Chuchu. Zheng Chuchu was tolerant toward Mo Feifei because she did not want to disobey Fengyun clan's rules. But her tolerance was received with cold harshness. Even a humble person has a temper. Sponsored Content Remove ads. However, Zheng Chuchu soon stopped feeling angry when she saw a young girl walking toward them. She was delighted. Young lady. Mo Feifei seemed to have forgotten about Feng Ruqing. She seemed not to care in the slightest a bit as she smiled coldly. This servant came to our Fengyun Manor and stole a spirit herb. She was caught red-handed. Young lady, please teach her a lesson. Feng Ruqing ignored Mo Feifei. She scanned the crowd coldly. Soon, she walked toward Qing Ling. What happened? At first, Feng Ruqing did not trust Qing Ling because Qing Ling was placed at her side under Liu Rong's command. Feng Ruqing did not trust her like how she trusted Liu Li. She always asked Liu Li to keep an eye on Qing Ling when she was away from the princess manor. Sponsored content remove ads. Later, Feng Ruqing realized that Qing Ling had nothing to do with Liu Rong. Qing Ling was only shy and timid. She was naive and innocent, and that was why Liu Rong placed her at Feng Ruqing's side. The other palace maids would voice their opinions in front of Feng Ruqing. But Qing Ling was the one who had always obeyed every order without any objection. Even though Qing Ling was timid, she still rushed to protect Liu Yun Kingdom the other day when they were at war. That was the moment when Feng Ruqing accepted Qing Ling wholeheartedly. Princess. Qing Ling appeared to be wronged by others. She seemed pitiful. I did not know that the divine spirit fruit belongs to them. I thought that I could have that. Princess, I really did not mean to do that. Sponsored content remove ads. Feng Ruqing could picture the rest of the story. She frowned slightly. Did you eat the divine spirit fruit? Qing Ling nodded her head. I did not know that they are that poor. If I had known that, I would never have touched their divine spirit fruit. Fine. Feng Ruqing turned her head slowly. Her eyes fell on Mo Feifei. Where did that divine spirit fruit tree come from? Mo Feifei saw that Feng Ruqing was unhappy. She glanced sideways at Qing Ling smugly. She held up a bright smile when she turned to look at Feng Ruqing. She replied, respectfully, Manor lady, it's brought back by the manor master the other day. Oh, you do know that it's brought back by my mother. I thought that you're the one who planted that tree. Feng Ruqing was expressionless. She seemed cold and distant. Mo Feifei was stunned. She was hesitant for a short while. Then, she spoke again. But, the divine spirit fruit belongs to the disciples of our clan. Now, it's being eaten by that servant. Sponsored content remove ads. Feng Ruqing laughed out loud all of a sudden. Her laughter was frightening. All of the things in Fengyun Manor belong to my mother. My mother is the one who provides them. Naturally, they belong to me too. So, I just want to see who dares to bully my servant again, even if she wants to eat the divine spirit fruit or tear down the entire divine spirit fruit tree, she is allowed to. Boom. At that moment, the young girl displayed her ferocity and fury. The sky darkened just a bit too. Chapter 732. The powerful force engulfed the entire manor. It was a frightening feeling. Sponsored content dark. Warrior. Manor lady is a dark warrior. Didn't they mention that she's just an intermediate spirit warrior? When did she become a dark warrior? Mo Feifei paled. She was no longer smug and arrogant. There was cold sweat on her forehead. She clenched her fists tightly. Manor lady, I am just doing what's best for Fengyun clan. Those divine spirit fruits belong to the most talented disciples of our clan. She's just a servant and she's only a true warrior. It seems to be a waste. Sponsored content remove ads. Mo Feifei still held on to her opinion up until that moment. Mo Feifei seemed to be implying that what she did was for Fengyun clan and the manor lady should not be unfair at a moment like that. But Mo Feifei was unaware that the others were uneasy after listening to what she had said. Zheng Chuchu and the others were shocked. Is it a waste to allow Qing Ling to have the divine spirit fruit? They could have not only the divine spirit fruit but also the precious spirit wine on a daily basis when they were at the princess manor. Feng Ruqing walked toward Mo Feifei slowly. What's your name? Sponsored content remove ads. Mo Feifei gritted her teeth. My name is Mo Feifei. Yes, Elder Lei Yun has just spoken about you to me. What Feng Ruqing said calmed Mo Feifei. She breathed a sigh of relief. Elder Lei Yun has always adored talented people. He must have said something good about me in front of the young lady. Then, I don't have to worry anymore. But, the young girl spoke again before Mo Feifei could let down her guard. Sponsored content remove ads. He told me that you're a pompous and arrogant person. You're nothing like Chuchu, who is so gentle. I thought that pride is not a bad thing for someone to have. Everyone in this world has their own pride. But, pride does not mean that you can be rude and unreasonable. People like you shouldn't be at our Fengyun Manor. Mo Feifei's face paled. She raised her head and looked at Feng Ruqing. Shocked. Read more chapter on Vipnovel. What's the meaning of that? Why is the young lady kick me out of the manor just because of a servant? I'm a talented person and everyone will surely welcome me with open hands wherever I go. If I'm dissatisfied with Fengyun Manor, I'll leave on my own will. I'll never allow them to kick me out just like that. Young lady, do you know what you're doing right now? Mo Feifei's facial expression changed drastically. This servant seems to be around 18 years old. A true warrior who is 18 years old is considered a genius in the secular world. But, do you know what kind of warrior I was when I was 18 years old? I was already a lower spirit warrior when I was 18 years old. She's kicking me out of Fengyun Manor just because of an ordinary person. Sponsored content remove ads. She's behaving in such a way that will surely endanger Fengyun clan. Fengyun clan might be ruined at last. How dare you? Zheng Chuchu was infuriated. She scolded Mo Feifei angrily. Mo Feifei, who has allowed you to talk to the manor lady like that? I'm just speaking the truth. The manor lady is kicking me out even though I'm the one who's always doing what's best for our clan. Why should I be quiet about that? Mo Feifei was outrageous. The manor lady had asked the talented people in our clan to be her servants. Thus, they have lost the chance to cultivate and consequently, lost their prospect to become stronger. Zheng Chuchu became angrier now. She wanted to stop Mo Feifei from speaking anymore but Feng Ruqing raised her hand and stopped Zheng Chuchu instead. Let her speak. Mo Feifei smiled coldly. Manor lady, you have just made a breakthrough to Spirit Warrior tier not long ago. But, you're a beginner Dark Warrior now. It seems that Elder Lei Yun has allowed you to have all the spirit herbs in the store. I just don't know whether it's a good thing that you're back in our clan. Do you realize that you're ruining the entire Fengyun Manor? It's your mother's effort all along. Don't you think that you shouldn't be taking everything only for yourself? Chapter 733 How could have Feng Ruqing made a quick breakthrough if it was not for the spirit herbs in the storage? Sponsored content. That's impossible. But, not all of the spirit herbs in the storage belong to the manor master. Some of the spirit herbs were obtained by the disciples when they were out of the manor for cultivation. Those spirit herbs would be depleted soon. Does Elder Lei Yun ever think about the future of Fengyun clan given that he's trying his very best to improve the manor lady's strength? Does he want to ruin Fengyun clan? If that's the case, it would be much better if Tang Yu is the manor lady. At least, Tang Yu was not acting unfairly. Manor lady, I have respected you in the beginning. Mo Feifei lowered her eyes but her anger was clearly seen. She shook her head disappointedly. Sponsored content remove ads. Feng Ruqing was still looking down at Mo Feifei, expressionlessly. Are you done? Mo Feifei pursed her lips tightly. She stared at Feng Ruqing unwillingly. Anyway, the Iron-Blooded Gate has invited me to join them. I'll have someplace else to go even if I leave Fengyun Manor. Now that you're done. Feng Ruqing quickly raised her leg and kicked Mo Feifei out of the manor. Mo Feifei was so shocked that her face was distorted. The other disciples were so frightened that they did not dare to say a word. Sponsored content remove ads. Senior Mo was, in fact, a conceited person. She thought that she was the only genius and that no one could compete with her. If ever anyone surpassed her in cultivation, she would think that their strength must have been improved by spirit herbs and not through their own efforts. Mo Feifei still looked down on them even if they came from the three main forces. She always believed that the people from the three forces were only born to a better family than her. They had a good family background. What was worse was that the three forces had never recruited any outsiders and no one outside of their family circles could become one of them. So, Mo Feifei had always claimed that no one could be compared to her in terms of talent. She was just unlucky that she was born into an ordinary family in the reclusive world. If she were born into one of the families in the three forces, she would have been unbeatable in the entire world. Even Zhang Chuchu. She treated Zheng Chuchu as her rival but she had never thought that Zheng Chuchu could beat her in a fight. Sponsored content remove ads. She just assumed that Zheng Chuchu was favored by the elders and they must have given Zheng Chuchu quite a number of spirit herbs to improve Zheng Chuchu's strength. If not, No one could beat her in this world. Hence, some disciples were displeased with her. They would not have been tolerant of her if she was not powerful. Fifth Elder saw the scene when he had just reached the manor. He was terrified. He stared at Mo Feifei, who was lying on the ground angrily. Then, he rushed toward Feng Ruqing immediately. "Manor lady, please calm down. What happened? Did Mo Feifei annoy you?" Feng Ruqing glanced at Fifth Elder, calmly. "Who recruited that girl?" Fifth Elder was anxious now. His voice was soft. I did, sponsored content remove ads. Back then, Feng Ruqing paused before continuing. "Why did my mother elect you as an elder? There's something wrong with your foresight." Fifth Elder was so frightened that he almost collapsed there and then. He trembled ceaselessly. "Mo Feifei, what did she do?" Feng Ruqing smiled a little. "She questioned me just now. She asked me whether I had consumed all of the spirit herbs in Fengyun Manor's storage. She has even claimed that I've wronged my mother." Fifth Elder's face paled. He turned to Mo Feifei and glared at her, angrily. Chapter 734, Mo Feifei, how dare you? This Fengyun Manor belongs to the Manor Lady. Even if the Manor Lady consumes all of the spirit herbs, it is her right. It's our duty to always be respectful toward the Manor Lady. What right have you to interrogate the Manor Lady? Sponsored content. Although some of the spirit herbs were provided by the disciples, most of the spirit herbs were collected from the Mountain of Herbs. The other high-grade spirit herbs were collected by the Manor Master. The Manor Lady is the heir of Fengyun clan. What if she eats all of the spirit herbs? How could Mo Feifei interrogate the Manor Lady? Mo Feifei vomited a mouthful of blood. She stood up, staggering a few steps. She clenched her fists tightly. If the Manor Lady did not finish up all the spirit herbs, how could she become a dark warrior in so short a time? Fifth Elder looked at Mo Feifei with a disappointed look. "Young lady is right. I was blind before. How could I recruit such a retarded person? I told you that all of the spirit herbs in Fengyun Manor belong to the young lady. Even if she has eaten all of them, you don't have any right to question her. Moreover, the young lady has reunited with the Manor Master only half a year ago. She was only a beginner 19 months ago. All of the people in Fengyun clan knew about Feng Ruqing's past before she even came to Fengyun Manor. Sponsored content remove ads. She was just an obese person who could not cultivate. She was even abandoned by her husband. She became strong and powerful in less than 2 years. They did not know how she did that, but her strong and powerful will were stamped hard in their hearts. Ironically, Mo Feifei had blurted such nonsense. Mo Feifei trembled when she thought of that. Her lips trembled slightly and she turned to look at Feng Ruqing gingerly. If Feng Ruqing could make a breakthrough to Dark Warrior tier in half a year because of Fengyun Manor, then what about her previous cultivation and breakthrough? Feng Ruqing had nothing to do with Fengyun Manor before. Sponsored content remove ads. She was just a girl who's born in the secular world. How could she make a breakthrough so fast there? But, Mo Feifei bit her trembling lip. She aimed her subsequent utterance at Qing Ling. "That servant stole and ate our divine spirit fruit. I did this for the sake of Fengyun Manor. I did not realize that the Manor Lady would act such unfairly. She did not know that I'm doing this for the boom." Feng Ruqing attacked again. She kicked Mo Feifei and stared coldly at her, who was now thrown out again. Mo Feifei fell down and vomited a few mouthfuls of blood. She raised her head and saw the cold stare from Feng Ruqing. She trembled because of the coldness and harshness that she felt. Sponsored content remove ads. "It belongs to my mother. I can give it to whoever I want. When did my mother's divine spirit fruit tree become yours?" Mo Feifei was trembling harder now. She's too weak and isn't it a waste to let her have the divine spirit fruit? A waste? Feng Ruqing laughed softly. Then, she turned and said to the 2 servants behind her, "Qing Ling, Liu Li, go and pick all of the divine spirit fruits from the trees. I like to give my things to the women I adore. Who dares to oppose to that?" Her foot was still on Mo Feifei's chest. She did not allow Mo Feifei to stand up. Sponsored content remove ads. Thank you, Princess, the two servants replied. Qing Ling burst into laughter. She soon rushed toward the tree and climbed up the tree swiftly. Soon, all of the divine spirit fruits were collected. She did not have all of the divine spirit fruits, but she shared it with Liu Li, Zheng Chuchu, and the others. They ate all of the divine spirit fruit in front of Mo Feifei. Princess, Liu Li bit into the fruit once and paused. This divine spirit fruit is not so tasty. Chapter 735. Mo Feifei almost vomited blood again out of frustration. Sponsored content. Her eyes were swollen as she stared at the two servants. We have saved those divine spirit fruits and now the fruits are ruined by the servant. That servant in green clothes even claims that the divine spirit fruits are not delicious. Liu Li, just bear with it. Qing Ling had another mouthful of it. How can this be compared to the ones we have at the Princess Manor? It's fine that we can have this now to quench our thirst. In fact, we have only 2 of these every day. The Snow Wolf can have 3 of these now. We need to cultivate harder so that we can have more of these. Mo Feifei almost burst into laughter again if Feng Ruqing was not stepping on her chest. Just look at that. How can these 2 servants be so smug? They said that they have divine spirit fruits every day. Sponsored content remove ads. Moreover, all of the divine spirit fruits taste just the same. How could there be any difference? It's nonsense. Elder. Mo Feifei gritted her teeth as she turned to look at 5th Elder. Did you see that? The Manor Lady is ruining precious things since she came here. 5th Elder appeared helpless now. It seemed like it was the first time he had ever met Mo Feifei. Mo Feifei sneered. Fengyun clan would be ruined if they continued such reckless act. Qing Ling swallowed another divine spirit fruit. All of a sudden, she saw another disciple who was staring at her longingly. Qing Ling remembered that the disciple had helped her to stop Mo Feifei. Sponsored content remove ads. Although the disciple did not manage to stop Mo Feifei, what she did was righteous. So, Qing Ling did not forget about the disciple's kind act. She sighed softly. She had always created trouble wherever she went before when the princess was still reckless. Later, the princess changed and she did not act recklessly anymore. There you go. The disciple was shocked and her eyes soon turned red. She almost burst into tears. Sponsored content remove ads. She thought that she would be unable to have divine spirit fruit this time. Now, she got the chance. She did not eat the fruit immediately but keep it for later. She planned to have the fruit when she was tired from cultivating. Qing Ling. Feng Ruqing's eyes darkened. She scolded Qing Ling. Qing Ling was shocked. She thought that the princess was angry because of what she did. She soon came to stand beside Feng Ruqing guiltily. Princess, just, you were bullied just now. Why didn't you do something about it? Even if you could not beat her, you could argue with her. Who asked you to bear it patiently? Sponsored content remove ads. But, Qing Ling realized that Feng Ruqing was infuriated. She lowered her head. Princess doesn't like us to create trouble. It's not you who started it just now. Someone else was bullying you. Feng Ruqing turned around calmly and looked at Qing Ling. I don't like to keep cowards by my side. Do you understand that? If anyone bullies you again and you still do the same, I'll send you back to the Princess Manor. Fengyun Manor is my territory. Even if Qing Ling could not beat the bully, she could ask for help from Zheng Chuchu or the others. But, she has bore it all patiently. Where did the previous Qing Ling go? She had always acted recklessly before. When did she become like this? Princess, Qing Ling was anxious now. I don't want to return to the Princess Manor. I just want to be stronger with you. I'll never allow anyone to bully me again. I'll argue with them fiercely if they dare to bully me again. Chapter 736. Good. Feng Ruqing felt better now. Remember, you need to argue with them even if you cannot defeat them. If you're unable to do that, ask somebody to help you. If calling for someone's help doesn't work, ask a whole group of them. Sponsored content. I understand now. So, I'll give you a chance now. Feng Ruqing smiled coldly. She turned to look at Qing Ling. Go and beat her up. Hard. Go and avenge yourself. Give her what she gave you just now. Mo Feifei was shocked. She struggled as she tried to get up from the ground. But she was not allowed to do so because Feng Ruqing had her foot down, hard, on her chest. Qing Ling walked toward Mo Feifei and slapped Mo Feifei hard on the face. Her slap was harsh, causing blood to ooze out of Mo Feifei's mouth. That was not the end of it. Qing Ling continued to slap Mo Feifei until she had no more strength left. Sponsored content remove ads. Mo Feifei breathed a sigh of relief in her heart when she saw that Qing Ling was out of breath from exhaustion. No matter what, the punishment has finally come to an end. But Feng Ruqing took out a divine spirit fruit and gave it to Qing Ling just as Mo Feifei was starting to feel relieved. Continue. Don't stop. Qing Ling took the divine spirit fruit happily. She bit into it and her mouth was soon filled with a taste of great sweetness. It was so juicy and delicious compared to the other fruits that she had eaten just now, and it was an unforgettable taste. All of the others were stunned. They stared at the divine spirit fruit in Qing Ling's hand. It had a mouth-watering fragrance. Sponsored content remove ads. They had had divine spirit fruits for so many years and they were quite familiar with its taste and scent. But the fruit in Qing Ling's hand was clearly much more delicious. Its scent was quite pleasant too. Everyone was entranced. What she said is the truth. The disciple who had received a divine spirit fruit from Qing Ling sighed softly. It's true that she can have those every day. Moreover, I can feel that the spiritual qi of her divine spirit fruit is stronger than the ones in Fengyun Manor. The Manor Lady seems unbothered by that, and Qing Ling has even casually taken the divine spirit fruit from the Manor Lady's hand. It is not a big deal to them. They are used to it. Thus, they are used to having those divine spirit fruits. Ironically, what has Mo Feifei said just now? That Qing Ling had stolen the divine spirit fruit. That it is a waste to let her have the fruit. We might really have misunderstood her if Qing Ling was not the Manor Lady's servant. Sponsored content remove ads. Luckily, we did not harm the Manor Lady's servant as Mo Feifei did. We're not as unreasonable as her. She's still the Manor Lady's servant no matter how weak she is. We have no right to harm her. Mo Feifei was stunned. She was cold. She pursed her lips tightly when she saw that Qing Ling was approaching her again. Her mouth was filled with blood and it tasted metallic. What's worse is that no disciple from our clan is begging for mercy for me. We've been together for so many years. Sponsored content remove ads. What happened next was Mo Feifei's worst nightmare. Feng Ruqiang gave Qing Ling a divine spirit fruit whenever she felt tired or her hand hurt from all those slaps. She continued punishing her when she regained her strength. After a long time, Qing Ling stopped slapping Mo Feifei as her hand started to feel numb. Mo Feifei's face was swollen and her face was no longer recognizable. Qing Ling had eaten numerous divine spirit fruits. The other disciples got used to it after some time. They were not that surprised by it anymore. Chapter 737, Fifth Elder, Lei Yun is out to run some errands. Luckily you're here today as you can help me to expel some of the disciples. Then, I'll let the other elders recommend some new disciples to me since I can't trust your taste in choosing people. Sponsored content. At first, the fifth elder respectfully paid attention to Feng Ruqing's words, but the corners of his lips slowly drooped. He felt a tinge of sadness inside. The Manor Lady did not have any faith in him. It was not his fault either. While all the others were busy cultivating, he was the only one who had to deal with all the duties throughout the years. How could he pay so much attention to these disciples while his hands were full? What could he have done then? He felt despaired too. Manor Lady. Mo Feifei chuckled coldly. Her words were still comprehensible even though she spoke with a lisp. Imagenius, but you've given up on me and chosen a little servant instead. You'll regret it. Fengyun Manor will regret it, too. Sponsored content remove ads. Feng Ruqing lowered her eyes and looked at Mo Feifei coldly. Just now, Great Elder has mentioned that I've broken through to Dark Warrior tier in 19 months while my servant, she has broken through to True Warrior tier within 15 months. What makes you think you are capable of fighting against my woman? What makes her think that no one is better than her? Where did she get that arrogance from? Mo Feifei was surprised as she turned her head around stiffly and looked at Qing Ling. She suddenly felt a chill. 15 months. Sponsored Content Remove ads. How can that be? It's nothing unusual if Feng Ruqing had started her cultivation 19 months ago, since she was too fat and her tendons and vessels were clogged with fat. Fat people do not even have the strength to stand. However, as for this servant, telling me that she had never cultivated before, and that she has just started her cultivation a year ago, that's impossible. That's totally impossible. Genius. Feng Ruqing continued to grin. To me, there's no such thing as genius or idiots. As long as someone is willing to put in the effort, I am capable of turning that person into a genius even if the person is not talented enough. Genius. So what? Other forces emphasized a person's talent. Sponsored Content Remove ads. However, she had an endless supply of spirit herbs and also spirit herb dishes. If you are willing to shed tears and put in all your effort, you will be a genius in the future. Anyway, you remind me of something. Fifth Elder, help me check how many spirit herbs has she consumed in my Fengyun manor throughout the years, and I want her to spit it out back to me. Demote her ability back to her previous state if she fails to spit it out. Feng Ruqing sneered. So you claim yourself as a genius and look down on the people who have taken more spirit herbs than you, yet you never realize that there are people who are more talented than you in the secular world. Lacking an environment to cultivate is the only trouble they are facing, and also, they don't have the opportunity to take spirit herbs. What have you got to be so proud of? Sponsored Content Remove ads. She assumed that others' current success was gained from relying on the spirit herbs. Indeed, spirit herbs were good for enhancing one's ability, as nobody would turn spirit herbs away. However, she was also one of the cultivators who had taken spirit herbs to reach her current capability. What rights did she have to look down on other people? Mo Feifei panicked. That punishment was more terrible to bear compared to the slaps she had borne just now. No, you'll regret treating me like this. So what if I have taken spirit herbs before? My talent does really exist here, otherwise, all the spirit herbs would be useless if I was not talented enough. Even if I'm demoted, there will still be many other forces that want to recruit me. Well, Feng Ruqing said, calmly, you remind me of something again. Fifth Elder, announce my order. Whoever dares to accept her, Fengyun Manor will attack their city. You. Chapter 738. Mo Feifei's eyes widened in disbelief. Feng Ruqing really wanted to force her out? Sponsored content. Are you not afraid of offending other forces? Feng Ruqing gently smiled. I'm just about to expand and strengthen my Fengyun manor. If they dare to go against me, I don't mind to take all of them down too. She had already offended the three great forces too. Who else would she be afraid of? Mo Feifei, do you know why I didn't kill you? Feng Ruqing stared at Mo Feifei coldly, because it'll shatter all of your arrogance, and make no one in the world dare to recruit you. It'll let you experience despair, agony, and nightmares. It'll let everyone understand that I'm the one who is in charge of everything in Fengyun Manor. This is the consequence that anyone who bullies my woman within my domain must bear. Despair dawned on Mo Feifei's face, even though her face was already swollen like a pig head. Choo-choo. Feng Ruqing calmly turned around and said, you'll settle for the rest of this issue. Also, bring those disciples to my manor later. I don't mind if I don't have a talented disciple with me, but my disciple has to be obedient and sensible. Sponsored Content Remove ads. Yes, Manor Lady, Zheng Chuchu replied, respectfully. Feng Ruqing left along with two little servants without saying anything more. Zheng Chuchu approached Mo Feifei after Feng Ruqing's shadow faded away. She shook her head and sighed. Manor Lady is the authority in Fengyun Manor. You reap what you sow today. Manor Lady is a person who always stands on the weak side. You'll be doomed if you ever provoked her. Mo Feifei sneered and did not respond to Zheng Chuchu. Zheng Chuchu looked at Mo Feifei hard. If that's the case, I'll let you know how foolish you are to be a self-righteous person. Bang! Suddenly, Zheng Chuchu was surrounded by a layer of a mighty force. That force was strong enough to make Mo Feifei's heart skip a beat. Her eyes widened all of a sudden. Sponsored content remove ads. Advanced. Spirit Warrior tier? When did Zheng Chuchu break through to Advanced Spirit Warrior tier? No. She refused to accept the truth. That must not be true. The crowd behind Zheng Chuchu came in front of her. The power that they emanated completely shocked Mo Feifei too. Intermediate Spirit Warrior tier. These fellows, all of them had broken through to Intermediate Spirit Warrior tier. Sponsored content remove ads. How? 6 months ago, Mo Feifei had already reached her bottleneck, just like the situation Zheng Chuchu was facing. Still, she managed to overcome it and break through it after 6 months. However, she was told that those people who could never be her match had all broken through to Intermediate Spirit Warrior tier now. Do you still remember something Master Lei Yun has said before? He said that he would give us a chance to make a choice. If we made the right choice, our future will be bright from then. However, if we made the wrong choice, we can only box ourselves in and stuck for the rest of our life. Luckily, we've made the right choice. A smile spread over Zheng Chuchu's face. Moreover, Mana Lady is such a gentle and caring person. If we follow her, we will live without any regret for the rest of our life. Mo Feifei's heart suddenly grew cold. Even though she was slapped so many times, got expelled from Fengyun Manor, and also got boycotted by Fengruching, she had never felt this way before. She finally knew what regret felt like at that very moment. Sponsored content remove ads. She clenched both of her fists tightly, feeling a sense of unfairness and jealousy. If only she had known this earlier, she would definitely have been in Zheng Chuchu's place and be on Fengruking's side. But why did Master Lei Yun mention nothing about that? If he had been clear on that, would she ever have made such a terrible choice? Hatred. Full of hatred. Mo Feifei also knew that no matter how regretful she was, her whole life was doomed. Chapter 739 Chuchu. Mo Feifei was trying so hard to get up as regretful tears streamed down her face. I've realized my mistakes, and am really sorry. Please intercede with Fengruching for me, I beg you. Sponsored content. Her hand got shook off just as she wanted to grab Zheng Chuchu's hand. I've warned you before, but you refused to take my advice. You have no one to blame but yourself. But why didn't you make it clear, why? Mo Feifei's crimson eyes widened as she breathed hard. Zheng Chuchu shook her head disappointedly. It's because I would never have expected you to make such a stupid mistake. Besides, you're always talking behind the back of the three great forces, and you think that no disciples from the three great forces are more talented than you. Do you know what harm you would bring to Fengyun Manor every time you speak like that? Therefore, you're not fit to stay here. Mo Feifei collapsed again after Zheng Chuchu finished speaking. Her eyes were filled with deep pain and she could barely say a word. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Somewhere far away from Fengyun Manor beyond the borders of Liu Yun Kingdom. A young girl was rubbing her cold arms as her eyes were filled with rage. Finally, I've reached Liu Yun Kingdom after walking for quite a while. After she had succeeded in dumping Gue and staying within Liu Yun Kingdom for several days, finally, she met Nanxian. However, in the end Nanxian threw her away before she could even approach him. After that, she was thrown to the Southern Ocean and coincidentally, she bumped into a white phoenix. Unfortunately, the white phoenix was also asking for information about Liu Yun Kingdom at the same time. Access web novel. Live if you like watching manga comics. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. She pointed in the opposite direction to the white phoenix since she had nowhere to vent her anger and planned to head over to Liu Yun Kingdom after doing so. However, the white phoenix appeared again as she was about to enter Liu Yun Kingdom. It seemed to have lost its way and bumped into her again. The phoenix knew that she had pointed the wrong direction to it deliberately, so it swept her up and flew around the sky for a bit. Soon, She was flown to northern wilderness along with the white phoenix and got thrown down from the sky into the wild. That fall would have already killed her if she was not strong enough. Luckily, she could finally reach Liu Yun Kingdom this time. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Previously, Nanxian was being cruel to her as he must have thought she was someone who was up to no good. If she let Nanxian know of her feelings, he would definitely be aware that she was not a bad person. Enchanting took a deep breath as she looked at the three big words, Liu Yun Kingdom, that was located not far away. No matter what, I'm still a member of Tianshan Manor. Who would dare to not show me some respect besides him? He's the only one that treats me this way. Oh, speaking of which, there's still that phoenix. I'll peel the phoenix's skin off if I ever see it next time. It has inconvenienced me from getting here. An old voice surrounded Enchanting as soon as she finished her mumbling. Tianshan Manor? You're from Tianshan Manor? Enchanting turned her head in shock. Then, she saw a person dressed in a black robe appearing in front of her. The old man's face was hard to be seen clearly as his whole figure was covered in the black robe. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. However, the vibes he emanated was overwhelming enough to force Enchanting to take several steps backward. Enchanting's eyes looked vigilant. Who are you? It would be easy if you are from Tianshan Manor, since I'm here to look for the people from Tianshan Manor. Suddenly, the old man had flown in front of her. Enchanting shrieked in terror. The old man grabbed onto her sleeves as soon as she started to scream. He raised her up and violently threw her onto the floor. Chapter 740. Enchanting fell to the ground in shock. She was pale and lifted her head dazedly as her messy hair had covered her eyes. Sponsored content, it was obvious that she did not know what had happened. Bang! The old man swung his palm and slapped Enchanting until her whole face was red and swollen. She came back to her sense from the shock as her eyes were filled with anger. Do you know who I am? My uncle is Tianshan Manor's master. The old man paused as soon as he heard that. He tried to control his shaking palm as he looked at her expressionlessly and said coldly, I've told you just now, I want to look for someone from Tianshan Manor. You. Enchanting took several steps backward and gritted her teeth. So what do you want? How has Tianshan Manor offended you? Why do you treat me in such a way? The black-robed old man slowly approached Enchanting and sneered. Not a big deal, just tell me where Tianshan Manor is. Enchanting was speechless. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. This old thing was being harsh to her, but all he wanted to know was Tianshan Manor's location. He should have said it earlier, so she would not be in such agony then. Tianshan. Enchanting swallowed her saliva and tasted something metallic in her mouth. Before she could finish her words, the black-robed old man dragged her up upright and smashed her onto the ground again. Her head hit a tree trunk nearby, and she nearly fainted as the impact was high. It seems that the people of Tianshan Manor are filled with lofty and unyielding spirits, who still refuse to tell me anything even when they are dying. I'll do as you wish if that's what you want. The black-robed old man's voice was filled with coldness, ruthlessness, and a hint of murderous intention. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Enchanting almost cried as she felt so wronged. When did she mention that she was reluctant to tell him? What was so important about the lofty and unyielding spirits? What was the use of lofty and unyielding spirits when one was about to die? I'll tell you, Enchanting immediately blurted as soon as the old man raised his hand again. She was so afraid he would beat her again. There's an island at the Southern Ocean, and on the island, there's a jungle. Then, there's a tactical formation within the jungle. Once you break the tactical formation, you will be able to enter Tianshan Manor. However, some people were guarding Tianshan Manor. It would be impossible for someone to enter the manor if one did not have Tianshan Manor's token. Moreover, it would definitely provoke all the forces around Tianshan Manor to kill the person if such a person was able to find the way to Tianshan Manor without the token. Access web novel. Live if you like watching manga, comics. That was the price he had to pay for interrogating her. Bang! Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. The old man smacked the back of her head, making her sprawl on the ground. Enchanting crawled up angrily as she spat the dirt from her mouth. I've already told you where it is, what else do you want? Today, I'm here to teach you Tien Shan Manor a lesson. TSK, I am here to roast Tien Shan Manor. Hand the Tien Shan Manor's token to me immediately. Don't you think I'm not aware that I need the token to enter Tien Shan Manor? Enchanting trembled angrily. This old man finally had spoken the truth. Simply wanting to know the location of Tien Shan Manor? Who would be so dumb to want to simply pay a visit to Tien Shan Manor in this mainland? He had hurt her simply because he knew that she was Ji Yusha's niece and had also found a ridiculous excuse for doing so. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Did he really think that she was that stupid to not be able to find out his true intentions? Who the hell are you? Enchanting's eyes looked red. If she gave him the token, she would be unable to return to Tien Shan Manor. Unless she returned to Ji Yu's side again. If she did so, she did not have the excuse to approach Nanxian on her own anymore. The black-robed old man was lazy to exchange nonsense with her as he approached Enchanting in a cold and an overbearing manner. Chapter 741. The old man punched and kicked Enchanting without giving her any chance to speak. With the continuous punching, Enchanting's face and nose were beaten black and blue, and until she vomited a mouthful of blood. Sponsored content. Her voice was trembling as she was finally terrified. Don't you only want the token? I'll give it to you, isn't that enough? Enchanting swiftly took out the token and threw it in front of the black-robed old man as soon as she finished speaking. However, the black-robed old man seemed to have not noticed it as his old ferocious fists continued landing on Enchanting's body, just like a fierce wind. Enchanting spat out a mouthful of fresh blood again. She cried hysterically, I've already given you the token, why do you still refuse to let go of me? Why? What wrong had she done? Just because she was a member of Tien Shan Manor? If that old fellow really wanted to look for someone, he should go for stupid people like Ji Yue. Why did he come for her? Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Oh. The old man finally came back to his senses as he drew his fists back reluctantly. He kept the token and turned around calmly. A message to the people of Tien Shan Manor, do not show up anywhere else in the future, or else, I'll beat him or her up if I see one. Enchanting's body trembled slightly as she stared in the direction that the old man left. Her eyes were filled with deep grudges. She would make this damn scoundrel pay his price once she returned to Tien Shan Manor. Do you really think that I won't be able to find out your identity by doing so? Enchanting sneered as she swung her hand, and then, a token showed up in her palm. You must pay the price if you dare to lay your hands on me. She took that token from the old man's waist when he was unaware so that she could find out who exactly he was. However, Enchanting froze as soon as she saw the 3 words on the token. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. The Divine Herbs Sect. Hes from the Divine Herbs Sect. The 3 great forces were in a seemingly peaceful state. However, they were, in fact, fighting each other all the while. The Divine Herbs Sect would actually commit such a dirty action by stabbing someone's back. She must inform her uncle and ask him to avenge her. In the meantime, Enchanting could never see the black-robed old man's legs go limp and fell down sitting on the floor. Read more chapter on Vipnovel. Comme a breeze blew, bringing a chill. He did not know when he had broken out in a cold sweat. Oh no, I've beaten the niece of Tien Shan Manor Master. She doesn't seem to know that I'm from Fengyun Manor as the Divine Herbs Sect has been made a scapegoat for this. Fengyun Manor shall be able to cut itself from this. He never expected he could be in such good luck as he immediately bumped into the niece of Tien Shan Manor Master. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Before that, from his observation, he attacked her just because he thought she was not smart enough. However, his action was no different than stirring up the hornet's nest. Alas! Lei Yun wiped away the tears on his forehead and smiled bitterly. There's nothing else I can do. Manor Lady must enter Tien Shan Manor, so that was the least I could do to send her in. Without another word, he tugged the brim of his hat again. He slowly crawled up from the ground, heading in the direction of the Divine Herbs sect. Yes, he was heading toward the Divine Herbs sect but not returning back to Fengyun Manor. Also, just as Enchanting came back to her senses, she secretly tailed him, her body covered in scars. She stopped after she tailed him for only a distance. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. That way only led to one place. The Divine Herbs sect. Surely, Hez from the Divine Herbs sect. Enchanting glanced hatefully in the direction where Lei Yun had disappeared. She slowly turned around and stopped tailing him. If she got too close to the Divine Herbs sect, she was afraid that the people of the Divine Herbs sect would come out and beat her to death, or at least she would be crippled. Chapter 742, The Battle Between Two White Lotuses 3 Master. Sponsored content. Inside the forest, Qingzhu popped its head out and twisted its neck to look at Nanxian. This woman, she seems to be the girl who wanted to pounce on you before. Nanxian stared, coldly, in the direction where Enchanting had left, and then he glanced at the wide road that led to the Divine Herbs sect. I remember, Tianshan Manor's disciples, there are quite a number of them outside. Qingzhu went rigid as it slowly lifted its head. It looked at Nanxian blankly. Master, what do you mean? Within the northern wilderness, there's a charming snake. Like you? Nanxian remained calm. Qingzhu's body turned more rigid. Master, I don't like it. I really don't like any single bit of it. Snake soup or you go seduce that charming snake. Nanxian glanced at Qingzhu, calmly. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Qingzhu's eyes were wild with horror. That snake, although it was a charming snake, it was not very good looking as it only likes the snake, which was stunning in their look. I'll choose the snake. Just as it wanted to choose to be snake soup, it quickly took its words back as it saw the light that flashed in Nanxian's eyes. I'll go and seduce the charming snake, however, I won't dedicate my body. Well. Nanxian shifted his calm eyes in the direction of the Divine Herbs sect again. You'll make the charming snake go to the Divine Herbs sect to cast a spell on them. Make those people attack the people of Tianshan Manor. Qingzhu remained in silence for quite a while before it started to speak again. Master, you are asking me to seduce charming snake just because you want the people of the Divine Herbs sect to attack the people of Tianshan Manor? The corners of Nanxian's lips lifted a little. Qing'er wants to pin the blame on Tianshan Manor, so they should be made a scapegoat for it. But, Qingzhu protested weakly after it thought for a while. Aren't you able to bring Her Highness to Tianshan Manor if she wants to head over there? Since you're around, it's only burning daylight by doing so. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Nanxian's cold eyes were gradually filled with gentleness. If that's what she wishes for, what's wrong for me to do nonsense with her? Qingzhu was speechless. Ever since its master met the princess, Qingzhu always had the feeling that its master was not the same master it had known before. When the princess was doing nonsense, he would be an ally or even clean up the mess for her. It really had never seen such a master before. Nanxian did not stay as he slowly turned around. Qingzhu felt tension in its heart. Master, are we going to the northern wilderness now? The lady quickly put on a coat to cover her body before she spoke. Han Yi stepped into the room. He scanned the lady's face. His eyes were filled with disdain. Lady Tan, the young manor master agrees to bring you back to the Mu family. However, you must know your place. You are not a virgin. If anyone knows this, not only would you disgrace the young manor master, you might even lose your life. I understand. Tan Shuangshuang lowered her head, fear crossed her face. Get your stuff ready. We are leaving soon. Han Yi's cold gaze looked past Tan Shuangshuang as he turned to walk out of the room. Watching Han Yi leaving, Tan Shuangshuang's eyes were filled with contempt. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Fat. He is merely a guard and he dares disrespect me. When I have gotten into the Mu family, I will settle the score with you. Tan Shuang had never thought that she would be so lucky. Liu Fuyong and Lady Liu had a quarrel because of her the other day. Hence, she went out of the Chancellor's manor for a breath of fresh air and bumped into Mu Ling. Originally, Mu Ling had agreed to make her his concubine. However, when he knew that she had lost her chastity to someone else, he regretted his decision and wanted to give her something to send her away. Chapter 744. The battle between two white lotuses v with Tan Shuang's current strength. Even if she had gotten something precious from Mu Ling, she was not capable of protecting it. However, if she was part of the Mu family, things would be completely different. Sponsored content naturally, Tan Shuang was not short-sighted. She knew what worked best for her. She already had a plan. If Mu Ling refused to keep his promise, she would tell the world that Mu Ling had raped her. In the end, Mu Ling would be the one who suffers. If only I had known that I will meet Mu Ling, I would never have slept with the old coot Liu Fuyong. Tan Shuang clenched her fists, resentfully. All these years, she had given Liu Yuchen everything she had except her body. In the end, she had actually lost her chastity to an old coot. If it was not because Feng Ruqing had taken Liu Yuchen's heart away, Tan Shuang would never have fallen into such a sorry state. Much less being someone else's concubine. Tan Shuang did not know what awaited her in the Mu family. She only knew that the Mu family was her final hope, her last chance to completely turn her fate over and put Feng Ruqing under her foot. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Feng Ruqing, even if you have taken Liu Yuchen away and won the state preceptor's heart, they have nothing else but handsome faces. As for me, even if I am just a concubine, I am still part of the Mu family. Tan Shuang broke into scornful laughter. Tan Shuang's family background and status were no match for Feng Ruqing. However, she was far better than Feng Ruqing in choosing the right man. She believed that even though Mu Ling did not seem to like her now, he would definitely accept her entirely one day. Tan Shuang had never expected that what awaited her, from the first day she stepped into the Mu family, was a tragedy of a lifetime. In the Mu family of Tianshan Manor. Brother Ling. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Chen Qingyang rushed toward the door briskly and greeted Mu Ling with her smiling eyes. Her voice was extremely soft. As soon as she saw Tan Shuang behind Mu Ling, Chen Qingyang's smile faded and her lips stiffened. At the same time, Tan Shuang too was staring at Chen Qingyang. Indeed, Tianshan Manor was a better place than the world outside, as countless stunning beauties could be seen in the Tianshan Manor. Standing before Chen Qingyang, the lady who still had a great deal of charm despite her age, Tan Shuang, who was once the prettiest lady in Liu Yun Kingdom, could not help feeling inferior. The only thing Tan Shuang had that was better than Chen Qingyang was her age. Brother Ling. This lady is. Chen Qingyang forced a smile, her voice extremely soft. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. I was drugged and had simply picked a lady to satisfy my needs. However, since I have slept with her, I will be responsible for the things that I have done. Qingyang, she will be staying in the Mu family from now on, Mu Ling said, helplessly. Mu Ling did not tell her anything about Su Yi. Simply no one knew that he had done this for his own reputation or Su Yi's. Hearing this, Chen Qingyang's heart was broken, dripping with blood as if hundreds of thousands of needles pricked into her heart. As Su Yi had not stayed in the Mu family all these years, Chen Qingyang was Mu Ling's one and only. She had become so possessive and would never let others share Mu Ling's affections. This time, Mu Ling had actually brought a lady back to the Mu family. He had even slept with her. Thinking of this, the day Mu Ling married Su Yi flashed in her mind. She clenched her fists tightly, color drained from her face. Qingyang, Mu Ling was panicked. He hurriedly held on to Qingyang's body. His eyes were sorrowful. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. If you don't like her, I will let her stay outside of the manor. Is that all right? Chapter 745. The battle between two white lotuses. 6. There is no need. Chen Qingyang slowly regained her composure as she said smilingly. Sponsored content. Brother Ling, all the men out there have multiple wives and concubines. I am deeply thankful and blessed that you only have Sister Suyi and me by your side and have not gotten another concubine all these years. It is true that I am upset as you are getting another concubine. It's because I truly love you. However, I respect your decision. Chen Qingyang paused for a while. She loosened her fists as she smiled helplessly. You are the most important thing to me. Don't worry about me and don't throw her out of the manor. I am not Sister Suyi. I love you and I will accept everything that you do. I will never be so ruthless and leave the manor just because you take a concubine. Mu Ling's hand stiffened as he heaved a soft sigh. You're right. Suyi is truly ruthless. Mu Ling truly loved Suyi back then, but Suyi had left him and now she had even spiked his drink. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. It would be extremely great if Suyi were half as sensible as you. Mu Ling smiled wryly. Brother Ling, Sister Suyi, is not coming back? Chen Qingyang pursed her lips as she asked fearfully. She will be back on the old master's birthday. Mu Ling shook his head as he said. That's great. Brother Ling, don't worry. I will move out after that. If Sister Suyi does not like Sister Shuangshuang, she could stay with me. I will take good care of her. Chen Qingyang smiled brightly like a child. Mu Ling stared at the lady who was smiling so brilliantly before him. He then closed his eyes, all the memories flooded his mind. As the old master had always vented his anger on Qingyang, she had gone through so much struggle because of Suyi. Even her health had been declining all these years. Everything that Qingyang had done was to make Suyi come back to the Mu family. But what had Suyi done? She was nothing but a spoilt and bratty lady who had never respected her own husband and observed the 3 obedience and 4 virtues. 1. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Qingyang, you don't have to move out. Even if you moved out, Suyi might not be happy. Unless I divorce you. Mu Ling opened his eyes slowly. Startled, Chen Qingyang's face was ghastly pale as fear crept into her eyes. Seeing this, Mu Ling's heart was broken. Don't worry, I won't divorce you. I won't divorce Tan Shuangshuang either. Since Suyi wanted Mu Ling to stay with other ladies, he would do as she wished. Hopefully, Suyi would not regret the things that she had done. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Brother Ling, I feel greatly relieved after hearing your words. You were gone for so many days, it's time to visit the old master. Let me bring Sister Shuangshuang to get some rest. Chen Qingyang smiled, faintly. All right, I will leave her to you. Han Yi, let's go, Mu Ling said with a smile on his face as he trusted Chen Qingyang. As soon as Mu Ling finished his words, he stroked his sleeve and walked away. He did not even spare a glance at Tan Shuangshuang. Right after Mu Ling left, the smile on Chen Qingyang's face disappeared immediately. Don't you ever think that you are his wife just because you got into his bed? I am the master of the Mu family. Even Suyi is no match for me, much less you. Chen Qingyang stared coldly at Tan Shuangshuang. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Look at you now. You have promised to take care of me. Aren't you afraid that I will let him know what you have done to me? Tan Shuangshuang gritted her teeth tightly. You can give it a try. I want to know who he trusts, you or me. Chen Qingyang laughed, scornfully. Tan Shuangshuang had met people in her life. But she had never met someone who could act better than her. 1. Confucian moral injunctions for women, namely, obey in turn 3 men, father, husband, and son. The 4 virtues are morality, physical charm, propriety in speech, and efficiency in needlework. Brother Ling, if you don't love me anymore, I will leave this place. Why must you get a lady to do this to me? Chen Qingyang's voice was caught in her throat. Spluttering with rage, Mu Ling clenched his fists tightly. I can accept that you have another concubine. But why do you purposely hurt me like this? She said you told her that she was prettier and younger than me. Her skin is better than mine and that you are no longer in love with Sister Suyi and me as both of us are old. She is young and pretty. She would definitely replace us one day. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Chen Qingyin's fists slammed into Mu Ling's chest. She was no longer delicate and sensible as she used to be. Her face was ghastly pale and filled with sorrow. Tan Shuang. Mu Ling's bloodshot eyes pierced into Tan Shuang. The anger brewing in him was so obvious that he looked as if he was a man-eating tiger. Standing upright but dazed, Tan Shuang did not say a word. It was her who was beaten up. Why could Mu Ling not tell right from wrong? Tan Shuang could not help recalling the time when Liu Yuchen had defended her back then. Currently, even if she tore both Tan Shuang and his child apart, she was not capable of wiping out the agony tearing at her heart. Qingyang, Mu Ling hurriedly held onto Chen Qingyin's arms and turned to glare at Han Yi. What are you doing? Take her to the torture chamber. Don't hurt her child. After all, Tan Shuang was pregnant with Mu Ling's child. Mu Ling only had 2 sons, Nan Xian who had never listened to him and Mu Shi whom he could never count on. Hence, he simply could not do anything to Tan Shuang before his child was born. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. As soon as Tan Shuang knew that she was pregnant, her face did not change but her body shook violently. 40 days ago, Liu Fuyong had had a quarrel with Lady Liu as she had caught Liu Fuyong in bed with Tan Shuang. Hence, besides Mu Ling, Tan Shuang had actually slept with Liu Fuyong on the very same day. However, this child must be Mu Ling's. Mu Ling was drugged and had slept with her over and over again for half a month. He was so strong whereas Liu Fuyong was just a week-old coot. Hence, she must be pregnant with Mu Ling's child. Chapter 748. Thinking of this, Tan Shuang's entire face changed. She looked much more relaxed now. She no longer wanted to run away. Sponsored content. If she gave birth to a son, her status in the Mu family would rise. As Chen Qingyang was no longer young, Tan Shuang would definitely replace her one day. Her lips curved into a sneer. As Han Yi was afraid that Tan Shuang might upset Chen Qingyang, he quickly took Tan Shuang out of the courtyard. Currently, there were only Mu Ling and Chen Qingyang left standing there. Qingyang, I won't let Tan Shuang stay in the Mu family. You will take care of her child after she has successfully delivered the child. Is that all right? Exhausted, Chen Qingyang closed her eyes. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Mu Ling wanted to keep this child after all. He even wanted Chen Qingyang to take care of this child. Had he ever thought that he would break her heart by doing so? How could she accept the child he had had with another lady? Brother Ling, I am tired. I need to get some rest. Chen Qingyang smiled wryly as she shook off Mu Ling's hand and turned to leave. Just as Chen Qingyang turned around, her eyes caught onto a man who was sitting on a stone bench not far away. Seeing this, Chen Qingyin's body stiffened. With a book in his hand, the man looked extremely weak. His cold eyes were fixed on both Mu Ling and Chen Qingyang. Mu Qingyin. Why is he there? How long has he been sitting there? Did he witness the entire incident? Chen Qingyin's face darkened a few shades. She clenched her fists tightly, a glint of fear crept into her eyes. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Second brother, someone has bullied your sister-in-law just now, why didn't you help her? Mu Ling frowned as he said. He had just seen Mu Qingyin too. I told you many times she is just a concubine, not my sister-in-law. Moreover, she is really something. She doesn't need my help at all. The corner of Mu Qingyin's lips curved into a faint smile. Hearing this, Chen Qingyin's pale face grew even paler. It seemed that Mu Qingyin had witnessed the whole situation. It was true that Mu Qingyin knew what Chen Qingyang had done to Tan Shuang. He knew that Chen Qingyang had framed Tan Shuang. Brother Ling, I'm worn out, shall we rest? Chen Qingyang pursed her lips as she asked softly. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Alright, let's get back to the chamber. Hearing this, Mu Ling could feel a tingling sensation in his heart. He held on to Chen Qingyan's shoulder as he said. At this time, Mu Qingyan was still sitting nonchalantly on the stone bench. His face was sickly pale. However, he did not say anything as he knew that even if he told Mu Ling what he had seen, Mu Ling would never believe him. Mu Ling would never believe that the lady who slept by his side was actually a vicious monster. Moreover, Mu Ling would never believe that this monstrous lady had driven Suyi out of the Mu family. Since Mu Ling would not believe in him, why should Mu Qingyan tell him? Furthermore, Tan Shuangshuang was terribly greedy. It was not a bad idea to let both Tan Shuangshuang and Chen Qingyang fight against each other. As Mu Ling and Chen Qingyang had not met each other for quite a long while, once both of them got back to the chamber, they could no longer hold back their desires. In the blink of an eye, Chen Qingyang stripped naked before his eyes. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Seeing this, a burning flame of desire swept through Mu Ling, but his lower body was not in the slightest bit responding to the arousal. He had tried a few times but all in vain. What happened to me? At this time, a glint of fear crossed his handsome face. Mu Ling had lost the ability in bed. Mu Ling suddenly recalled the day he got into bed with Tan Shuangshuang. He had slept with her over and over again, but he did not manage to completely get rid of the aphrodisiac. Hence, they had continued on and on for half a month. That was crazy. During that time, his energy was so unprecedentedly good and he had never been so powerful before. Even Tan Shuangshuang had constantly begged him to stop. Chapter 749. What happened to Mu Ling? Why was he not aroused at all? Sponsored content Suyi. It must have something to do with the spiked drink. Mu Ling collapsed to the ground. Blazing with rage, his body was shivering. Suyi hated Mu Ling so much that she had actually done this out of revenge so that Mu Ling could never touch another lady ever again. Brother Ling. What happened? Chen Qingyang panicked. She held on to Mu Ling's arm tightly. What could she do if Mu Ling had truly lost the ability in bed? I don't know. I don't know what happened to me. Mu Ling rubbed his head, puzzled. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. It seems that I have lost the ability in bed, after my drink was spiked. As Mu Ling had never slept with Tan Shuangshuang after he had completely detoxified his body, he had no idea that he had lost such ability. Stunned, Chen Qingyan's body shuddered violently. She lost her balance and nearly fell down. All of a sudden, Chen Qingyang clung tightly onto Mu Ling's arm as if she had thought of something. Brother Ling, I heard someone in Paramount is capable of making herbal dishes with a great healing effect. We could get that person to treat you. If that person refuses to treat you, we could ask her to make herbal dishes for you. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. The young master of Paramount is part of Deity's Gate. Would his subordinate listen to me? Mu Ling put her arms down slowly. Brother Ling, the person who is capable of making such a powerful herbal dish is really something. As long as we can provide her with the spirit herbs, she must be able to make powerful herbal dishes out of it. Then, we could pay her with spirit herbs in return to keep her with us. However, if she refuses, Chen Qingyang pursed her lips, hesitantly. If that person is a lady, we could make her Xie's wife, and if that person is a young master, we could marry Mu Huan to him. We could bond that person through a marriage with the Mu family so he or she can continuously treat you. Brother Ling, I won't hesitate to sacrifice Huana and Xie's happiness for the sake of your health. Since both Tang Yin and Ji Yue had called off the marriage with Nanxian, if the rare talent in Paramount could heal me, I would make her Nanxian's first wife. If that person is a young master, Huana will marry him. Suddenly, Mu Ling's eyes lit up. Such a rare talent was indeed a perfect match for Nanxian. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Hearing this, Chen Qingyan's face stiffened. Her hands balled into fists. No matter how much Mu Ling cared for Xie, he would give the best thing to Nanxian, including a good marriage. All right. However, you know Xiana very well. He had rejected the 2 marriages that you have arranged for him before. Naturally, he might not accept this one, too. We must not delay your treatment anymore. If he refuses this marriage, Xie will marry her. Chen Qingyang bit back the resentment in her heart and broke into a faint smile. All right, but before that, we need to find out whether that person is male or female, old or young. Mu Ling sighed softly. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Sure. Brother Ling, I will get Xie to find out about that person. Chen Qingyang said with a soft smile on her face. It's going to be hard for you. By the way, don't let Xie know what had happened to me. I don't want this to leak out and disgrace the Mu family. In Mu Ling's eyes, reputation and dignity were more important than anything else in the world. He must never let others know that he had lost his ability in bed. He could not bear such great humiliation. Chapter 750. What did you just say? Sponsored content. In the manner, Ji Yusha slammed his hand on the table as he snarled. His handsome face was filled with mild anger. Are you sure the bastards who attacked us are from the Divine Herbs sect? Manor Master, this subordinate had dealt with the people from the Divine Herbs sect before. I am sure that they are the disciples of the Divine Herbs sect. The middle-aged man kneeled down as he answered, respectfully. This Divine Herbs sect has got some nerve. How dare they mess with Tianshan Manor? Send someone to Liuyun Kingdom to bring Yi back. I am going to the Divine Herbs sect now. I swear I will never let them off easily if they don't straighten this out. With one hand behind his back, Ji Yusha got up slowly and strode toward the door. His unruffled expression hid a storm brewing behind his eyes. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Feng Ruqing was the mastermind behind this, but she had never thought that it would have such a great impact. Naturally, she did not know that Nanxian had been adding fuel to the flame. These days, Feng Ruqing was really having a great time. Besides going into closed-door cultivation, the only thing that she was enjoying was the breathtaking mountain views together with some lady servants. Hence, she was stunned when Lei Yun informed her of the things that were happening outside. The Divine Herbs sect is fighting with Tianshan Manor. Feng Ruqing had tasked the great elder Lei Yun to frame the Divine Herbs sect as she wanted to make the Divine Herbs sect a scapegoat. She had never thought that the people in Tianshan Manor to be so short-tempered to stir up a battle with the Divine Herbs sect. Read comics on our web novel. Live. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Did the great elder Lei Yun beat up Tianshan Manor's master's daughter and stir up the commotion? Manor lady, I don't know what's going on. Recently, the disciples of the Divine Herbs sect have been acting like they have been possessed by the devil. Whenever they see someone from Tianshan Manor, they would rush over and fight them. Hence, they had infuriated the manor master, Ji Yusha. Ji Yusha? Feng Ruqing frowned. She felt that the name was extremely familiar, but she could not recall where she had heard the name from. Then, the Divine Herbs sect's reaction? Raising her brow, Feng Yu asked. It's all the Divine Herbs sect's fault after all. Hence, they have given a great number of spirit herbs to Tianshan Manor to appease their anger. The great elder Lei Yun could not help laughing. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. No doubt, it was a big loss to the Divine Herbs sect. However, simply no one knew why the disciples of the Divine Herbs sect would lose their minds whenever they saw the people from Tianshan Manor. Oh yeah, the people of the Divine Herbs sect had killed many disciples from Tianshan Manor. However, none of them has set foot into Liuyun Kingdom. The people of Tianshan Manor could be found everywhere in Kangyu mainland. Liuyun Kingdom was no exception. Even if their identities were unknown, there must be some of them hiding within Liuyun Kingdom. However, no one from the Divine Herbs sect had actually stepped into Liuyun Kingdom. Hearing this, Feng Ruqing frowned even harder. She could feel that things might not be as simple as it seemed. Lei Yun, I will give some spirit herbs to Fengyun Manor a few days later. I want every one of you to enhance your strength. Feng Ruching paused for a while. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Don't get Fifth Elder involved. I don't trust him. The Fifth Elder was not very observant, and Feng Ruching had learned the hard way through Tang Yu and Mo Feifei. On the contrary, all the lady servants that Lei Yun had sent her were extremely good. Although all of them had freckles on their faces, they were charming and obedient. Chapter 751. Hence, Lei Yin was the only one Feng Ruching could trust in Fengyun Manor. Sponsored content. It seems that the Manor Lady has completely lost her trust in Fifth Elder. The corners of Lei Yun's lips lifted. Manor Lady, don't worry. I won't reach a bottleneck so soon. Hence, I don't need to go into closed-door cultivation. I will restructure the entire Fengyun clan. Both Tang Yu and Mo Feifei will never appear in the clan again. As Lei Yun had gone into closed-door cultivation for the past few years, he did not get himself involved in anything related to Fengyun clan. Now that he wanted to restructure the entire clan, naturally, he must get his hands dirty. Otherwise, there might be more people like Mo Feifei in Fengyun clan. Lei Yun, you just have to bear this in mind. It is fine if the disciples of Fengyun clan have no talent, but not without humanity. They can compete with one another, but they can never humiliate each other. If someone refuses to follow the rule, make him or her spit out all the spirit herbs that he has taken and throw him out of Fengyun clan. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. They must never think that they could do whatever they wanted and still remain in Fengyun clan after taking so many spirit herbs. At your command, Manor Lady, Li Yun answered respectfully. Feng Ruching yawned lazily. Her lazy gaze swept past Lei Yu. I will leave Fengyun Manor a few days later. When I come back, I hope that everyone's strength in Fengyun Manor will have greatly enhanced. Originally, Feng Ruching should have left as soon as she knew the route to Tianshan Manor. However, she had stayed here for quite some time as she was waiting to harvest the grade 5 spirit herbs. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Although her spiritual chi could speed up the ripening of spirit herbs, she was only capable of ripening one piece of spirit herb a day. As Fengyun clan needed a great number of spirit herbs, she could never get all of them within a short time period using her spiritual chi. Hence, she could only wait for the spirit herb to grow at its own pace. 5 more days, Feng Ruching lowered her eyes. She could finally leave Fengyun Manor for an extremely mysterious place after 5 days. Feng Ruching raised her head to look at the vast blue sky. Chenna. Half a year has passed. How have you been? I can finally meet you again. If you are having a hard time, I will bring you home. No one is allowed to hurt you for the rest of your life. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Feng Ruching clenched her fists subconsciously as she dropped her eyes. Walking briskly in the courtyard wearing a red robe, her long black hair fluttered in the wind. Suddenly, Feng Ruching disappeared without a trace. As the night wore on, the curtains moved gently in an evening breeze that was sweeping through the open windows. Smoke curled up in the air from the incense burner. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. A young master stood by the bed, staring quietly at the lady lying on the bed. The corner of his lips curved into a smile. Slowly, he lowered his head and pressed a gentle kiss that was full of tenderness, longing, and love on the lady's lips. Chinga, just do whatever you want to do. I will always stay by your side and bring all the unsettled matters to an end. His fingers slid through the lady's hair. His eyes were full of tenderness. At this time, the lady was sleeping like a log and did not respond. The young master's slender fingers slid across her cheek. He retracted his hand. He was still staring at the lady on the bed. After a while, he turned to leave, reluctantly. At this moment, Lei Yun was waiting fearfully outside the chamber. When he saw that the young master had left the chamber, he heaved a sigh of relief. Chapter 752. Fortunately, sponsored content. Nanxian did nothing to the young lady. Otherwise, he did not know how to stop Nanxian with his current strength. If he did not stop Nanxian, the manor master would not spare him. But Lei Yun looked at the man and frowned slightly. Nanxian and the young lady, what was their relationship? He always felt that Nanxian looked at her differently. But if the young lady was going to be with young Mater Nanxian, she would have to endure countless attacks from other people. He was not willing to let the young lady suffer any injuries. These days, she seems to be having some bad sleep. I have given her some fragrance that will calm her down. You don't need to disturb her. Nanxian's eyes were cold as a moon. His white robe was floating like a fairy. And, ask the women from Fengyun Manor to stay away from her. So, she can get a good rest. Don't let them harm her with their beauty. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Lei Yun was speechless. Why did he always feel that there were hidden meanings behind Nanxian's words? Young Master Nanxian, don't you want to wait until the young lady wakes up? Lei Yun asked, carefully. The man slightly smiled. No, she doesn't want me to follow her. Lei Yun was silent. Was Tianshan Manor's Nanxian such a nice person to talk to? The young lady did not want him to follow her. Hence, he secretly followed her like an idiot. And even ran to look for her while she was asleep. Young lady, why doesn't she want you? Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Nanxian looked back. Then he looked at the girl in the room coldly before his gaze gradually warmed up. She wants to protect me and doesn't want me to go back to Tianshan Manor. So, why don't I cooperate with her? This feeling of being protected by her, as if it had happened before. I will come in the next few days. Nanxian glanced back. No one in Fengyun Manor is allowed to do anything. Don't let her know. Lei Yun's old face stiffened. He was a little hesitant, but finally gritted his teeth and asked, Young Master Nanxian, my manor lady is not a married woman. It's not appropriate for you to come to her every night. Although the young lady was once abandoned, the marriage was not recognized by the manor master. As it was not recognized by the manor master, so it did not count. His manor's young lady was still a girl. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. I will marry her. Nanxian stared again at the girl on the bed through the opened door. His lips were plastered with a slight smile. Elder Lei Yun was relieved. Wait a minute. Something's wrong. If the young lady was going to marry, what about those girls in Fengyun Manor? This. Young Master Nanxian, Lei Yun gritted his teeth. Although Fengyun Manor is far less powerful than Tianshan Manor, the young lady is the manor master's life. If the young lady is harmed in any way, Fengyun Manor will definitely avenge for her. Moreover, my manor's young lady will never be a concubine. Nanxian's cold gaze fell on Lei Yun. That indifferent gaze made Lei Yun's heart tremble. He took a few steps backward, and his forehead had already broken out in cold sweats. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. I know that the Mu family's master is seeking a wife everywhere for you. However, if you really like my manor's young lady, you can't allow her to be only a concubine. Otherwise, don't provoke the young lady. Nanxian's eyes grew colder. Qing'er will always be my only one. She can't be a concubine. If she is my wife, there will be no concubine. But, Lei Yun swallowed hard. You are so filial. If your father forces you, perhaps the man's aura was too intimidating. Lei Yun had even unknowingly used the terms of respect. Nanxian's eyes were slightly cold. Infilial. Everyone in the reclusive world knows about it. Chapter 753. Everyone knew that the Mu family's Nanxian was very filial and obedient to Mu Ling. Other than that, he was also handsome and extremely talented. Sponsored content, yes. Mu Ling praised him. Nevertheless, he knew that it was not for him, but to declare to the world. As long as it was the woman that Mu Ling had picked for him, he would obey and accept. In this way, Should he go back and hang Mu Ling at the gate of the city and beat him 100 times to show his impiety? Young Master Nanxian, Lei Yun saw Nanxian's hardened face. He became more and more hesitant. Nanxian gradually regained his composure. My mother likes Qing'e very much. What did young Master Nanxian mean? Whether my mother likes her or not, she is the only person I recognize as my partner. It meant that no one can intervene in his decision. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. His previous words actually told Lei Yun that everyone in his family would accept Qing'e. Mu Ling was the only one who could not accept her. Of course, Nanxian would not have spoken so much with Lei Yun if it was in the past. It would be sufficient to just say the final decision. But today Lei Yun represented Neilan Yang. He would let Neilan Yang know that Qing'e would marry him without any grievances. Nanxian stopped talking. He closed the door for Feng Ruqing and walked past Lei Yun. The man's white robe under the moonlight made the atmosphere seem even colder. His fairy-like figure went further and further, disappearing quietly in the night. As if he had not come before. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. The next day. In the morning sun, the girl opened her eyes slowly. She stretched her body and slowly rose from the bed. She did not sleep very much in the past few days. Even with the help of the divine spirit fruit, she was not as comfortable as last night. Maybe I miss the state preceptor too much. I dreamt of him last night. She felt that someone was there last night. But there was no sound in Fengyun Manor. Maybe she thought about it too much. Perhaps she really missed the state preceptor so much that she dreamt of him. I will be able to go back to the state preceptor after I have found Qing'e. Feng Ruqing squinted. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Not only Qin Chen was in that Tianshan manor, but also the Mu family. If she had the chance, she really wanted to see who was the woman who drove Suyi away. Who had hurt Suyi and Nanxian so much? Princess. Liu Li came in through the door with a basin of water. She laid the basin on the table and walked in front of Feng Ruqing. Princess. Paramount's young master Zhu Ming is here. Feng Ruqing was stunned. Zhu Ming. Why is he here? If nothing has happened, he can't come to me. Liu Li, ask him to wait for a moment. I'll go to him after I have cleaned up. Yes, princess. Liu Li left after she bowed. Download our sponsors game and get $30 reward. Remove ads. Fengyun Manor. In the manor's courtyard. Zhu Ming stood in the center of the stone pavilion with one hand behind his back. He smiled a little, but his eyes were fixed on the girl who was not far away. Girl, you left without a word. It's hard for me to find you. They had both experienced a battle in the forest of spirit beasts together. Now that she was going to leave, she remained silent and had disappeared without even saying goodbye. If he had not come to her, he would not know if she would go to him at all. Zhu Ming, you wanted to meet me. Did something happen in Liu Yun Kingdom? Or is there a problem with the herbal dishes in Paramount? Feng Ruqing walked to the center of the stone pavilion and stopped. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.